Wonderful. Here it goes. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you a presentation. Now this presentation is going to be very boring. Okay. Black and white and ugly fonts and stuff like that. And the reason why I made it boring is I want you guys to remember that it's boring CVs that can get you jobs, not those fancy CVs. Yeah. I had a CV which ran into 6 pages. It was like a wedding party. You know, it had photographs and links to my YouTube videos. That would have been amazing if I was meeting the decision maker. Let's say if I'm carrying it with me, if I am meeting the decision maker, such CVs really help. But if I'm submitting it online, such CVs will make sure that I'll never get called. Yeah. Let me explain to you what exactly am I speaking about. Yeah. I hope GSK, you can see the screen, right? Wonderful. Okay. Guys, you have two CVs in front of you. One is the boring CV from Julio. And on the right side, you have the cool CV. Okay. Now, if I ask you guys, if I ask job seekers, which CV should you embrace? Yeah, 99% of you would say, of course, the cool CV. Look at it. Amazing. Infographics, tables, amazing headers, looks attractive. Yeah, a lot of valuable information. So I would go for a cool CV. And probably you might even pay money to someone to get a cool CV made. But uh, please don't go for a cool CV because it'll not help you to get a job. In fact, it'll stop you from getting a good job regardless of how potent your profile is. Okay, now that's a tall claim, right, that I'm making. So I'll have to validate what I'm saying. So here we go. Yeah. What happens when you apply for a job online? Before human hands touch the CV, before human eyes see the CV, your CV goes through an applicant tracking system, which ranks your CV based on certain protocols, based on certain algorithms. So you can see that Jason has scored 92%, Shannon has scored 85%, Manju has scored 83%. And probably, I mean, God forbid, maybe our CVs ranked 55% or 20% or whatever. And that's the reason, regardless of how strong it is, it never reaches the hands of the hiring manager or the talent acquisition manager. It's usually CVs that rank 90% and above that are taken up to be read by the managers. Yeah. So just to demonstrate how important it is, I used to be very proud of my CV. Okay. And there was this ad that I had. It was the job of vice president talent management at a bank. And I went and looked at the job description online, and I said, Sangeet, at a boy, this job is for you. Nobody else is going to get this job. You're going to bulldoze your way through. Okay. And people are going to fall in love with your CV. And then nothing happened. Okay. apply, but no reply. So it was after that someone told me about ATS compliance. ATS compliance, I'm sorry. So you know what I did? I went to this free site. In fact, I'll show you, Job Scan. And I scanned my CV and the job description. And I got a match rate of less than 20%. Less than 20%. Now I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with these applicant tracking systems? Don't they know how good I am? Because I used to have a general CV, and my thoughts were like, even if I don't exactly match, the talent acquisition guy will pick my CV with respect and with quivering hands will go to the manager and say, we found him, he's the one, he's the catch, but that was not working. Let me show you how it works. Okay. So let me stop sharing here. My whole objective is to shock you guys so that you go and work on your CVs. Let's go to a job site. So let's go to, let's say, LinkedIn, and then I'll admit. Okay, with your permission, guys, I'll share the screen again. Here we go. Okay, so I've gone to LinkedIn. You can see the LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page. I go to jobs. I go to learning and development. And then let's say I'm interested in this job, Director of Learning and Development. Yeah. So normally what would I do? I would go and apply, right? And when I apply, it'll ask me to attach my CV, and I'll attach my regular CV. Now let's see how it works, okay? I'm going to copy this part, responsibilities. Here we go. So this is the job description. And I'm going to put it here in the job scan, okay? So this is what they are looking for. They want a person who has all these qualities, yeah? Then let me go and search for a portion of my CV, the most important part of my CV, which is highlighting everything that I've done. Guys, this is real show off stuff, okay? It talks about awards, it talks about everything that I've done. I copy that part of the CV, which highlights my experience, which it highlights my achievements, and I paste it here. And let's see what happens. If I scan, I want to get a job. Okay. So my ATS finding, again, it's a very low match rate, okay, of less than 20%. Okay, this is the issue. So please don't, have one static CV, okay, thinking that, you're going to use that CV for all kinds of jobs, all kind of organizations, all kind of job ads that come in. That is definitely not going to help you. And I gave you this example with a very rich CV. Okay, my CV is quite rich in the context of learning and development, and still there was less than 20%. So if I'd applied with that CV, the chances of me being called would be next to nothing. Yeah. So let's see how you can make your CV ATS compliant. Let me share the screen again. Go. Okay. Once you decide that you're going to apply for a particular job, you'll have to read the job description posted very carefully. From the job description, you'll be able to find keywords. Are they talking about particular projects? Are they talking about X number of years of experience? Are they talking about your exposure to certain software packages? Are they talking about, some particular experiences, development experiences? Are they looking for particular training programs that you've attended? And then once you find those keywords, you'll have to make sure that your CV has those keywords. I'm not asking you to lie. I'm asking you to match your CV as much as possible to the keywords listed in the job description, because otherwise the ATS is going to say, nah, it doesn't match, and it'll not go forth. Okay. Now, let me show you. So where do you pick the job descriptions from? Typically, it comes under the responsibilities headline, okay, on in the job ad. So here you can see that product development, and then there are sub-points, marketing, power plan modernizations. I've just picked up a random job ad, okay? So you have to make sure that your CV matches, at least has a decent kind of correlation with what is written over here. Other key things that you need to remember is most of us put our name and address in the header of the Word document. I've seen so many CVs where the name and the contact details are put in the header. Most of the ATS don't read headers. So that means your information is lost. There was no need sending that CV. Okay, so please don't put anything in the headers, number one. And number two, when you are writing about your qualifications, don't just write MBA. Please use long form and short forms together, because some ATS algorithms can understand what MBA is. Some of them might not be able to. Okay, when you write SEO, write search engine optimization as well. For heaven's sake, don't use tables. I'll show you something what happens when in an ATS when you use tables. Okay, it's suicidal. So please don't have tables listed, and use traditional fonts. Okay, resume fonts, typical resume fonts are these. Don't come up with fancy fonts just because they look good. Okay, now look at this. Look at the CV of this lady. Okay, Miss Childs. and she has put all her key strengths, okay, in a table. Now this is lost. Okay, this information will not be picked up. That's the reason we need to make it boring with just traditional bullet points. Okay, I've used an example of a gentleman called Mark Singleton here. You can see what Mark has done. Mark has put in CVs. Though the CV is pretty traditional, he has put a table format. So you've got information on the left side and information on the right side. He has done that to reduce the number of pages. But see what happens when an ATS reads this, okay? Just look at this screen and look at the next screen. So on the right, what you see is the output. What goes to a hiring manager. So the ATS has picked up, from the first line, it has picked up text. From the second line, it has picked up text. And then it has picked it up from rapid prototyping. That has come as the third line. So this is exactly like shuffling a deck of cards. Your information gets completely shuffled. So Mark Singleton, who's expecting to be hired because he thinks the hiring manager is going to look at what is available on the left, but what the hiring manager gets is what is available on the right. So your CV should not have multiple columns. It should only have one column, and it should not have tables in place. Okay, you should not use any non-standard bullet points. The moment you put a star instead of a bullet point, the moment you put a tick, the moment you put a fancy image as a bullet point, that text is not read. And please make sure that you just put these traditional fonts over there. Arial is good. It's not going to look good, but that's absolutely fine. As I told you, I made this PPT so boring without images because I wanted you guys to take home the important point that it's boring CVs that get you jobs. Okay. Please don't use headers or footers as the information might get lost. Okay. Use standard resume section headings like work experience. In the last 2 weeks, I've received CVs with very fancy kind of headings saying that how I have been marking time or where I have been, so it looks nice, guys. When somebody reads it, it looks nice. But for the ATS, it doesn't make sense. So it's going to disregard that entire section. Okay, please save your file as a .docx file if possible. Okay, PDF is accepted in many cases, but the standard even today for ATS applications, it reads Microsoft Word the best. And definitely do an ATS scan. So I've shown you the website. This is the site. So please go and pick up the job description, pick content from your website, from your CV, paste them in those boxes and do a job scan. And make sure that you get at least an above 90% match. Extra spacing, something as extra spacings is so important. For example, product marketing, okay, will be recognized as a complete skill. But in case you've put product 2 spaces in marketing, that will not be seen as a skill. Okay. Unprofessional file names. While many ATS have stopped making file names visible, some of them still do. So don't put a file name that says Sangeet Ibrahim for First Abu Dhabi Bank, third CV, because you come up with your own indexing method. The file name at best should reflect Dr. Sangeet Ibrahim. Okay, maybe 2020 or whatever. Yeah, so don't come up with weird file names. Please conduct a resume review, especially since we advise you to keep having versions of your CV. Please don't have typos in there. It leaves a very bad impression. So there are a lot of websites. I think Grammarly runs a service as well. You can check for spelling and grammar mistakes, inconsistent punctuation, if any, broken website links, incorrect contact information, and long and unclear sentences. You have done this and I've done this and I've done this project and, which doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's the text from my side. That's the PPT that I had from my side. Okay, but guys, if I can summarize what I have presented so far. Number one, don't tell me that you have a CV. Having a CV doesn't help. If you've applied for 20 different jobs, you should have 20 versions of CVs. Why? Because every job description is different. And unless and until you've tried your best to make your CV reflect the kind of deliverables written over there, then there's no point sending the CV at all. Yeah. So the first thing that you do is you see an ad. Okay, look at the job description, go back and open your CV, and then make sure that there is some kind of a match. Okay, that's the most important thing. And the second most important thing is if you go by those fancy, the second CV that I showed, nice infographics and images and stuff like that, it's time to dump it. I mean, you don't have to ditch it altogether. You can carry it with you when you're called for an interview. I've done that. Then I say, can I take you through my profile using this CV? Now that could be one way to impress the interviewer, but it will never impress an ATS. Yeah. So headers are no. So first thing, 95% of CVs have the information written in the headers, and that information is going to go. So remove it from the headers and the footers. Okay. Very boring, no columns. So you shouldn't have multiple columns. It's just one column. Yeah. With standard bullet points, standard fonts. I have a question from Mr. Churian. The ATS cutoff percentage, general market rate is 90% across the board. Mr. Churian, I'm not very sure, okay, because it again varies. But what I know for certain right now is particularly if the job is being handled by a recruiter, okay, what we had conducted a panel discussion for recruiters, and they told me that typically now when a job ad is posted, they get around 2,000, 2,500 CVs. And they're allowed to give only 2 to 3 CVs to the recruiter, to the hiring manager. And that's why the hiring manager is paying them. So from 2,500 to 2 or 3. So look at the odds. Yeah. So you need to really make sure that there is at least a 90% match. And it's easy and free, right? It's just, you can just do it in JobScan, edit again, go back and check. And that's the reason, that's the most important work. That's why we wanted to start our first technical session with this topic. This is much more important than interviews, much more important than contacts. Okay. Is Sister Shekha in here? Okay. I've not got a response from Shekha. Probably she'll join us in due course. Mr. Churian, you've said you use a particular site. Is that to create a CV? Because word clouds are typically, fancy representations of when you put in content, it'll convert them into fancy representations. But what's important is to have boring traditional CVs. Yeah. Okay. I don't think Sister Shekha has come in. The question that was posed by one of our members in the group is how often should we follow up? Let me repeat that again in case you joined in late. Once every week is something that is tolerable. Please don't call them back every single day. And what you can do is you can definitely ask the recruiter. This is what I've done. Once I've done the interview, I asked the recruiting manager, the TA manager, how often should I follow up? I don't want to irritate you, but I want to make sure that you understand that I'm proactive. So, and the person says, Sangeet, once in 10 days, and then do it once in 10 days. So you can ask the question and then follow up accordingly. Okay. Yeah, wonderful, guys. What I'll be doing is I'll be sharing the video of today's presentation along with the video that I started the session with in the group, so that you can use that to review what we had discussed today. But otherwise, we would like to keep, sure, we'll be recording it and putting it on YouTube. Yeah. Tips on freshers versus experienced CV. Yeah. Okay. Yes, GSK. What I've done is, let me just share with you something. Not to create a resume, but to get the top keywords of the job description. Tweak the candidate CV using the elements from the word cloud. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. What the word cloud probably does is it looks at words that are repeated multiple times and then it highlights it to you, right? So then you can use that to adapt the CV of the applicant. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Churian. Thank you, guys. I hope you've seen what Mr. Churian has posted in the chat. That's a website which can help you to glean out keywords from the job description. Okay, so please take a look at that. I'm sure it's helpful, because sometimes it could be boring to go through the job description and trying to understand what is it that these people want to really emphasize. So these are services that can tell you, you know what, these are what these people are looking for, so that you can customize your CV accordingly. Should we make boring CV if you're sure sending direct mail to recruitment manager and almost sure ATS is not used? Just concerned a boring CV will reduce the chance in this case. Does all use ATS now? Well, what I know is that 100% of all good organizations use ATS. If you're talking about, let's talk about UAE. Okay, if we talk about MR, if we talk about all the banks, if we talk about Etisalat, if we talk about, even the government sector organizations, all of them use ATS systems. Particularly now when there are a lot of applicants available, and ATS services are available at a nominal fee. But if it's a very small organization, okay, then probably they might not be using ATS. In that case, well, it doesn't hurt to send a cool CV. But why take the risk? Why take the risk? I think even on a boring CV, you will be able to really highlight what you've done, your achievements, your deliverables, your qualifications. So I would suggest that you use that. Yeah. Any other questions? GSK had a question. Advice to university graduates. So let me just share. Just give me a second. Something that we had done, researched back. Just give me a second. Okay, if we have any university graduates, people are looking for the first jobs in the audience, this will come in handy. How to create an awesome CV for fresh graduates. So these are the 9 points that would add value to your CV. In your resume header, I don't mean the header of the Word document, what is up there when the person picks it up. Okay, the first information that any recruiter will see. So it will typically have your name, any website links, a LinkedIn profile, and please put professional sounding, professional looking emails. Now, this is something which college students should be very careful. Okay, you should have, an email. It should not say RDJ Spider-Man or, Hell's Angel or whatever .com. Have a professional looking email. It's important to have a personal summary. Now, a personal summary is, it's handy if you come up with a personal summary, because in every interview, you're asked this question, right? Tell me about yourself. Okay, tell me about yourself. So you need to have a personal summary. So my advice is, okay, please don't put summaries like my goal is to grow professionally and contribute to your esteemed organization. Okay, because it doesn't tell people exactly what you want to do, and it fails to convey the relevance of the resume to the job. And it's like a copy paste job. Okay, so here are some examples. Example one, a fresh graduate in computer science, a computer science graduate passionate about data engineering and machine learning. See what the person has done, yeah? The person has looked at the job description and then they've made the personal summary acclimatized. So it says highly capable leader, because the job description talks about Python, Java, and C#. So it's important to reflect that. Accounting and commerce student, Bachelor of Accounting and Finance, passionate about financial modeling and auditing, because the JD talks about financial modeling and auditing. Proven project leader, active member of university's business club, speaker at whatever. Okay. Third, please make sure that you list down the skills which the job description is asking you to have. Yeah. So please make sure it's relevant. Please make sure it's recognizable with your target industry. And you should, of course, have a mix of hard and soft skills. Experience, especially their new joiners, they would definitely not have the kind of experience that we have, but you should list down the projects that you've written, the internships that you've done, even the volunteering projects that you've done. Okay, so that's important. Education, fairly simple, straightforward. Make sure that your GPA is also listed. Languages known, don't skip the section, particularly if you're applying for organizations abroad or universities abroad. Uh, if, for example, when you list English, it's good to have your IELTS score listed. Okay, and make sure that you list the languages that you are fluent speaking and writing in as well. Students, something that I strongly advise. Recruiters have told me that when someone comes up with a passage like this, it adds value to the CV tremendously. What are you most proud of? Did you do something in your college life that you're incredibly proud of? So please list them down. It could be like a college project, something that you contributed, an open source program, an achievement in sports, got my paper published, whatever. Certificates and courses, pretty standard. And testimonials. Guys, please don't put references. Please don't put references even in our CVs. I would strongly advocate. Don't just write references available upon contact or just put the name of the person, get them to write a small paragraph about you. Dr. Sangeet worked with me in this project. I was always amazed at his initiative and his interpersonal skills. He would be an asset to an organization, for example. Yeah. So don't just put the name of the person as reference. 2 to 3 lines of testimonials will help. And how do you get these testimonials? You cannot expect them to write it for you. So what helps is if you write it yourself and you send it to them saying that, is it okay if I keep this as your testimonial? In all probability, they would say yes. Okay. So DSK, I hope I've answered the question. Yeah. And I hope that was useful. Oh, there's a long question, I think, from Mr. Churian. Question to Dr. Sangeet, applying for the position via the job board and LinkedIn. I know for the former, but for the latter too, any difference, better chances in applying for the same job, company website, HR page, third-party website, or LinkedIn? Mr. Churian, what I've realized is that, okay, when you go to LinkedIn and if it's a job ad posted by a recruiter, not the hiring manager from a company, then your challenges are much worse, right? Because then that recruiter would have definitely posted the same ad in multiple places, because for them the first step is collecting as many CVs as possible. But when companies themselves post, they normally post in just 1 or 2 channels. They definitely have it on the website. They would go through LinkedIn or Glassdoor. Yeah, so the chances of your CV standing out are definitely. And if it's a company posting directly, I would be happier, because that's when I would follow the strategy that we explained in the last session. I would go and Google about the company. I would Google about their hiring management team, their HR team. I would send out a LinkedIn connection request. I'll connect with them, because then you have a much better chance of reaching out. Yeah, because if it's coming from a recruitment agency, you seldom know which the company is. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. 447 guys. Any questions? Anything about the CV? Anything about ATS? If not, just wanted to seek your feedback about our group itself. Okay. The whole objective is to help people find jobs, number one. Number two, to create a community where people can share their thoughts and feel connected. A shoulder to lean on, someone to guide you. Okay. And number three, to help people who are currently working improve their employability by building up skills. So is there anything else that you would want us to do? Because we're doing this for all of us, right? So what we're doing currently is 2 days a week. It's open posting. Anybody can post. They can post job ads. They can post, motivational videos or whatever. And the rest of the days, if you have anything, please share it with one of the admins. We've got 6 admins, so they would definitely be able to post it if it's relevant. Yeah. But otherwise, please tell us about scam recruiters. Uh, Sajir, I'm not very, I'm not very conversant with scam recruiters, but I can share an experience that I had. Please be very careful. The moment I put open to work on my LinkedIn profile, somebody went and looked at my LinkedIn profile, identified the kind of jobs that I would be interested in applying for. Okay, so then it was Dubai Airport. There was a job at Dubai Airport. And there was a job at I believe Dubai Islamic Bank. Okay, so then I got a call, and from the number they said, "Hi, Dr. Sangeet, we understand that you have applied for Dubai Airport." See how smart they are, yeah? They've applied for Dubai Airport. I was like, "Whoa, how did you know?" That's a bit of credibility, yeah? Duh, that ad has been there for long. And they said, "Have you got a call?" I said, "No." I said, "We are the recruiters working for Dubai Airport. Okay, can you open your email inbox?" I was like, "Wow, that's fast." When I went to my email ID, there was there was an email from the recruiter. Okay, very fancy header and all that. It said, "Click here to pay." They said, "Can you please pay now?" It's I think $500 or something. If you pay, we'll make sure that you will get a call from the interview team. It's a guarantee. And there was a text about saying that we guarantee this, that this will be available. So I had to really resist because I was desperately looking for a job. I said 500 dirhams Kalivali, let me do that. But somehow good wisdom prevailed. Yeah, so there are a lot of scamsters like this. One thing, guys, that you need to know that there are a lot of recruiters who have posted fake openings just to collect CVs. Okay, it's called, like in sales, we try to build a pipeline. So there are recruiters who are building a pipeline right now. So you might apply and not get a reply for them, but I don't think you need to worry much because at least your CV has reached them, yeah, and they'll take care of it when they find something appropriate. Yeah. Okay. So I don't find a lot of questions coming in. So what I would like to do is any suggestions, any comments. Tomorrow is an open day, right? Sunday is an open day. So if you want us to improve in anything, yeah, please do let us know. If you want us to handle any particular topic, please do let us know. If you want us to change any of the codes of conduct, please do let us know. And we'll definitely make sure that we will reach your expectations. Yeah. May God Almighty bless all of us and make sure that we get placed. May God Almighty give us the energy to keep looking, the energy to keep doing the right things, and the energy to support each other in the process. Can I invite our admin team to speak a few words, please? GSK, Vipan, I think Taha is here as well. The floor is open, gentlemen. Varda is here as well.
Good evening, everybody. So it's like who from admin, who is the next one? Like that, I think everybody was waiting. So anyway, I thought let me volunteer. Anyway, in fact, that was a good session of sharing inputs on ATS. In fact, I came to know because definitely I have to sit now and change my CVs for ATS compliance because there are so many insightful informations which I got because of ATS, how important, because unless otherwise our CVs reaching the right decision makers, there is no point whatever we prepare and send it. So I will not be taking much time on this ATS because already enough is told by Dr. Sangeet. He started with sad and let me make with mad. Okay, so it's all about making a difference. So it's all about let us be mad on getting the job by making a difference. Okay, all the best and thanks for that.
Thank you, GSK, as always, with a lovely model and acronym. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think Sister Sheikha was not able to join in. Yeah, so we had a 10-minute slot from her. but inshallah, we'll make sure that, she joins in and adds value in the next session. If we don't have any other inputs from the admin members, we look forward to seeing you. So we'll be meeting on the last Saturday. That'll be the next session. Okay, so we'll be handling interview tips in that session. But if you want us to look at something else, tomorrow is the day. Please give us your feedback. Yeah, if the site is helping you, if this group is helping you, please do share that. If you think we could probably make ourselves a little more effective by changing our course, please give your input as well. Otherwise, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Happy Teachers Day again, and God bless you all. Yeah. Thanks to the admin team again. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll be
Thank you.
sharing the
Thank
links.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.